What is going on, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today we are doing a big announcement for Power and Revolution, and this is going to be the official announcement of the release of the 2020 edition. 2020 has finally stumbled upon us. I know it has been a hard walk toward this moment, but we are literally only a day from the release, at least at the beginning, at the recording of this video. They did say that we are looking at releasing it as early as tomorrow, but as late as the 8th of September. I believe that he actually did say that we're looking at a release tomorrow, but then the Steam release will actually come out later this week. And if you're wondering if I'm going to do a giveaway for this, I have received confirmation that I will be doing a giveaway for Power and Revolution 2020, so stay tuned for that. I'll probably announce more news on the official live stream of the 2020 edition as soon as I get my hands on it, and I will go on from there. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at the first screenshots that we're going to be able to look at. We're looking at this like literally only days from the release. These are going to be images that you're going to be getting used to over the next little bit, but first off, we have new content for 2020. First one is going to be simulation of the COVID-19 pandemic. Based on actual data, the pandemic is recreated, and the player can allow its progress with various graphs, stats, and maps, and it is kept up to date directly with their health director. That's big one, number one. Numerous tools and legislation are at your disposal to try and stop the spread of the virus, which also means managing the inventory and distribution policies, such as masks for professionals and the general public, screening tests, treatments, ICU beds, etc. That's awesome. That's something I really was excited for in this game. Construction of temporary hospitals, an arsenal of lockdown measures. That's another big one that I honestly thought was coming. For the population, for schools, businesses, bars, and restaurants, we can literally give we can literally choose whether we want to close schools and stuff. I mean, that's actually really fun. Limiting gatherings and travel, regulating transportation, closing the borders using the tracking software, transfer of patients and vaccine research. All of these measures can be customized by region and their level of contamination, the objective being to stem the pandemic as quickly as possible and to slow its progress to limit the impact on the economy. So not only are we going to be dealing with all of this, we have an adverse economic impact on ourselves whenever we are actually doing this. So not only do you have the option to close schools, businesses, bars, and restaurants, the economic impact from that is going to be beyond anything we've ever seen. First screenshot we're going to be looking at is a picture of the brand new Donald Trump with a face mask. Donald Trump actually looks pretty cool in this. Donald Trump, Boris Johnson, Vladimir Putin looks different, Emmanuel Macron, and Angela Merkel. It looks like we have a complete diverse set of characters that we actually have, and I think we actually have a new font. I mean, look at this. There's new font on the U.S. Flag. I don't know. I mean, I probably haven't played Power and Revolution in a while. Third one, we actually have a first look at the COVID-19 bar. So COVID-19 is a part of the coronavirus family of diseases that cause digestive and respiratory infections in humans and animals. The virus gets its name from the configuration of viral particles whose protrusions resemble a crown. So obviously corona. You don't really need any of this, but it is now actually a part of our global menace. So not only are we dealing with global warming as itself, we are dealing with an actual pandemic. It is unconfirmed whether this is going to be a part of its own independent scenario, because we are dealing with, so it looks like right here across the world, almost 1 billion people have actively have COVID. And then the number of deaths doesn't seem to be that high, but then a number of severe cases seem to jump up to 647 million people and then immediately go down. So that's kind of funny that they used that as a screenshot. The economic crisis. Depending on the situation, the player can impose or lift restrictions on businesses. In response to the decline in business, various measures can be put into place, which is partial unemployment, aid for the poor, or support for struggling economic sectors to minimize unemployment and the decline in growth. So not only this, let's go ahead and look at regulate population lockdown. The most dramatic method to curb an epidemic is the lockdown the population. This is a serious decision because it will result in a shutdown of the economy and possibly a breakdown of the nation. However, I mean that's not that far off from what we are actually looking at right now. However, certain sectors will be able to hold their own in this situation, such as the media, internet services, or video gaming. What's more, various kinds of psychological something. I mean, we got a couple of applied to the following territory: heavily contaminated. Oh, so we can actually do it throughout. Not only can we do it throughout the entire country, we can do it to specific places. That's actually really cool. So the regulations we have no regulations, so that's completely normal. Lockdown strongly recommended for people at risk in care homes, so that could be like, I mean, you could literally like be taking steps for this. Lockdown recommendation for the entire population, and then you can get the government involved. Controlled lockdown for the entire population with strict regulations for going out, which is basically what we saw at first. And then we have complete lockdown with ban on going out except for essential services, healthcare personnel, pharmacists, doctors, firemen, and sanitation workers, except for essential services. So I guess it was kind of like a mix between these two, but this one sounds a little bit more. So what you could actually do is, just in places where it is completely like bad, I mean, you could literally put heavily contaminated regions only, and then you'd only be doing it for maybe like Texas, New York, California, Washington, some of the first affected places that actually had COVID at first. So that's actually exciting. I mean, I'm excited for this. I'm very, very excited for this. Other scenarios: in World Without COVID, the player can lead their country in a normal context without the pandemic. In the SARS-CoV-3 scenario, set in 2022, when after a widespread vaccination of the world population for COVID-19, researchers discover a new patient carrying a virus that seems resistant to the vaccine. Has the virus mutated? So actually, that actually makes it a lot better. So it's going to basically be like the pandemic's over, but then it's going to come back like some sort of like nightmare scenario where it's like, you know, we just got through this. We just had all of this crap happen to us. The pandemic crisis plunges the world into turmoil. In the coronation scenario, the player can take advantage of the chaos to install a royalty and become an absolute monarch. So there's two different scenarios that are kind of used interchangeably. I guess the want to be a king one, coronation. So that's France. So you can make France. Oh, you could literally. Oh, so that's why they're doing it. That's literally why they did it. So, literally, so France could go back to its royal roots, because I mean there used to be a monarchy in France. If you know literally any French history before 1789, so that's gonna be a really interesting scenario. I'm actually really excited for that. War game scenarios and functions. A number of units and functions have been added. Anti-missile and anti-aircraft batteries, which can be deployed to concealed locations to intercept aerial attacks. That's awesome. Intercontinental ballistic missile silos and anti-aircraft silos that are difficult to destroy and can launch missiles at a very long distance. Formation of squads, which allow the movement of units as a whole to be able to attack as one or defend each other. That would be really cool to actually reform the war game. So maybe I could actually start going to war a little more often. Usually the only reason I never really go to war is because like I just don't like the war game. So hopefully 2020 can actually change that. Speaking of, I didn't read this. The debt and deficit of a country can be strongly affected by this crisis, and if in the short term the state can rely on international lenders, such as when a member of the European Union, then the player will have to return to a more acceptable levels in the long term so as not to alarm financial markets. Again, I mean, it looks promising. I mean, I like it. Formation of squadrons allows the movements of units such as a whole area bombing from cruisers that targets multiple enemy units in a single run, forming groups of satellites or drones to cover a larger area. The addition of anti-missile armaments for carriers and certain cruisers. The addition of a fog of war system. That's actually really cool. Oh, that changes everything. That literally changes everything. This is our missile silo right here. Here's our anti-missile silos. Brand new units. Look at these units right here, actually. We got trucks. I don't know what the heck these are, but these look different. It looks like the military has been completely overhauled in this game. I'm really excited. Let's keep going. Let's keep looking to see what else there is. Special mini guide describes the functions of all military units in detail. Numerous lightning war scenarios reflecting the geopolitical context of potential conflicts in which larger nations claim foreign territory. The player can choose to play as the aggressor, attempting to annex enemy territory within a certain number of time, and as the defender, fighting back while the international community mobilizes and forces the invaders to retreat, which is China versus Taiwan, Russia versus Georgia. Russia versus Georgia would actually be really cool. And Turkey versus Libya. And then obviously we do have the 2020 presidential election. That is an option in this scenario. Development of the 5G networks. Construction of fusion nuclear power plants. Oh my god, that is... Yes, I've been waiting so long. That's literally an idea from me. Fusion nuclear power plants. I mean, you think nuclear is something great in this game. Wait until you get fusion. Nuclear fusion is literally the freaking future. I'm absolutely excited for fusion nuclear power plants. I've been hounding Eversim for so freaking long on trying to get them to do nuclear fusion plants. Man, a lot of 2020 is going to be coming out, I swear to God. Addition of the World Health Organization as an independent organization, so hopefully we actually see it as a European Union thing. The Eurasian Union is a new economic organization. The modding tool is apparently now in the game, the option of creating mods with 30 playable countries. Greater reflection of political tendencies and alignments between countries, especially whenever there is a change in political parties. So that's actually going to be really nice to see that play out a little bit better. So like you can actually intervene in elections in certain places, and then whenever you actually get someone that's actually similar to you, like, you know, the United States is a conservative rightist country. So if I intervene in the election of France and then make them a conservative rightist country, that means that there would be better relations between our countries. Going on with the new features, after the Eurasian Union, we have faster satellites. So I guess they changed a couple of different things with the satellites just to make them a little quicker. The option to change the national anthem, awesome. Automatic response system to submitted requests. Don't know what that means. Options to disable televised debates and elections and for the game to run in the background, and there are new achievements. And then up-to-date data as of January 1st, 2020, even though we are literally 9 months into this year. So these are probably going to be extremely out of date, but if you're going to be starting at the beginning of the year, it does make sense. Budgetary, economic, and social data is going to be as of 1/1/20. Political and geopolitical data, new governments, constitution of new parliaments, diplomatic relations between countries. We have new environmental data, military data, and maps of conflicts, ongoing city battles, and status of opposing forces. We got terrorist organizations, including the numbers, capabilities, and resources of them. We have a new country called Eswatini. Then we have new algorithm for name creation based on the language. And then we have new characters and new faces, such as new chiefs of state or governments, including in Brazil, Italy, Spain, Hungary, Pakistan, and Mexico. And new ministers and party leaders, including in the United States, France, and the Federal Republic of Germany. And then we have new international celebrities engaged in feminist causes and a new Iraqi flag. That's from the previous version. So that's kind of funny that they reposted that. But anyway, this is 2020. We are on board with release. We are probably going to have it tomorrow, and then if I do have it by tomorrow, then I'm going to be live tomorrow. So pay attention to my community tab, and if you guys are excited for it, look forward to the giveaway for Power and Revolution. I am very excited to play this for y'all and then also give it away for y'all. I know you guys come to me for Power and Revolution news, and I am very happy that I led you guys all the way through this entire 2020 edition saga together. We made it through this together. We made it through 2020 together, and we finally have 2020 together. So again, if you guys want to see 2020, don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to post a lot of 2020 edition content for you guys. And without further ado, again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see 2020, and then I will see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the giveaway.